Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go fast. I have a non-bingo-y rack. I do have scoring tiles in the F and the K. And my rack is balanced in terms of vowels and consonants. But the vowels I have aren't good. Now a play of Kuri would help the rack. My opponent's changed. Now, can I do something better than Kuri? I don't think Kufi is good. But is there a play which uses an I, a U, a K and an F? I don't think so. The F will be a scoring tile for next turn. Kuri 16. Again, a balanced rack. I don't think there's a bingo here. There may be an 8 through the right floater. But nothing comes to mind with the floaters that are currently available. I may be able to play off the F with the H, and if I don't or can't, then it's my priority to play off the F because it is the less bingo-y of the two high-scoring tiles. F-A-H may be playable. At the moment I've got Faith in column 10 through the I, which places the F and the H on triple letter squares. And the rack leave of DIN is quite good. My opponent changed with her first move, 3 tiles, so she may well be close to a bingo. Now what to do if Faith is blocked? Both my A and my I can go underneath the K, so I could play FAH across here, making Ka and I wonder if there is an 8-letter bingo with this rack. Maybe not. Kuri takes an S after it. It takes nothing in front. I don't think it takes anything other than an S. My opponent now used almost 3 minutes of her time. Okay, and by burning the S, that suggests to me that she's retaining 1 on her rack. So probably was quite close to a bingo, but maybe stymied by the U. Now, Shura takes an H after it and a T, so I can play Faith across here. My original Faith spot having been blocked. So Faith for 35. Yeah, I think that's okay. Great, that looks much more like a bingo-y rack. I can't see a 7, but there may be one, and I've got a few floaters to consider. In particular, I'm looking at the R of Kuri's and Shurat. Well, I'm not seeing a bingo. This looks a pretty good rack. I've got the ED ending. But nothing is coming to mind. So what about the U? Can't see anything there. Nice bingo by my opponent. And she's now provided an S floater. Does that help? This will be really annoying if I miss a bingo here, because this will be quite a high probability one. Bandiest. Great, I do have a bingo. It doesn't get doubled, and it opens up column 15. So an alternative bingo may be a lot better. I don't think Bandiest has got an anagram. Certainly not one which is coming to mind. Well, I don't think I have much option but to play this. And I'm grateful for having a bingo. Bandiest 63. Nice balanced rack, scoring tiles. I don't think there's a bingo here, but my play of Bandiest has opened up all 3 triple word squares. So at least one of those will remain available. Plus, the triple word square in the middle of row O is also available. Now, I note that my Y can go after the B, so I could play Owly in column 15 for a good score. Ah, I've just seen I have Oilways. I have Oilways. That plays in row M. Fantastic. That's a tricky one to see, and it just came to mind. Now, does that play in column 15? I don't think it does. And now I'm glad that I played Bandiest, because hopefully my opponent will be distracted by that column, leaving my Oilways spot available. I don't think there's anywhere else for me to play it. Great. Again, it doesn't get doubled, but it's still good to play. So Oilways 87. Horrible rack, only one vowel, unbalanced. Duplicate R. So not great. However, Varrow is good, and that plays at the moment at L1, making woe. And that also plays in column 13, making Obe and Wad, so I can play my way out of this quite easily. Oilways doesn't take anything in front of it. Varrow is also good through a U, no U's in the right spot. Now I note that a number of vowels go between K and S, and T and a V can go between U and A. So if I had an E, I could have a play which went O, V, E, but I don't. So I don't think I can take advantage of that opportunity. However, I note it in case it's of value later. I've got an 80-point lead. My opponent's on turn. 48 points. Good score for her. And she's opened up row O. Varrow 38. Great, that could have been a lot worse. Through an O, I have overlong, no O's available. Can't see anything through the E of phase. .46 points for my opponent. She's scoring well. Well, I nearly have Varrow again. Vlog doesn't fit. My lead now has shrunk to just 28 points. However, I can play Glove and F for a decent score. Just looking around in case there's a bingo I've missed, or a bingo lane I haven't considered, or a floater. Just wondering if I have a 5-letter play at the bottom of column 15, which places my V on this double letter square? I don't think I do. In terms of 6-letter plays, I've got Glover and Grovel. Nowhere for either of those. Still both blanks to come, so I quite like the idea of playing off 5 tiles. I don't think I can play 6 tiles in column 1. Just wondering if I've got to play through this V. Let me just check that, because I've got Volve, V-O-L-E. Yeah, that burns all of my vowels, so I can't use that. So glove 32. Great, I draw some vowels. That looks pretty balanced. There may be a bingo here. Progenies through I blank S. I can't see a 7. Can't see anything through this E on the bottom row. C and the O not particularly helpful as final letters in bingos. Can't see anything ending BE or AD. I have got a scoring tile in the P. But is there a 7 or 8 letter bingo? The R still available in Curries. This is a really useful floater, especially with 2 blanks out there. My opponent is only 60 points behind, so a bingo would give her the lead. And I note that column 3 is also a good bingo lane for bingos ending S or T. And at the moment I haven't seen anything good to do with this rack. Well, my opponent looks like she didn't have a great rack. So I've got a few more floaters to consider. Can't see anything through the D. Gosh, that H looks promising. Can't see anything. Nothing through the U. Nothing beginning with the T or GI. I've got a G and an N for going in front of U. But I can't see a play down here. I could play Goa in column 3. 25 points. 14 minutes on my clock. This is a tricky rack. 27 tiles left, so not many. Now, what about column 15? Well, only my N and O go after the I. So I can't see anything good there. And with 2 blanks out there, I would like to play off a lot of tiles. So a 5-letter play at the bottom would do quite well. But I can't see such a play. Can't see anything beginning with the V. Now, what about open? And possibly reopen or opener. So do I stop here at 32 points? 5 E's to come, 2 R's, no G's. Or do I do this to increase my chances of drawing a blank? That's 6 more points. I think this is worth doing. Great. With the blank as a U, I have keyage. Can't see anywhere for that. But it's good to have the blank. It means my opponent doesn't have it. However, now I have drawn it, I would like to bingo. And if keyage isn't available, and it isn't at the moment, how can I get rid of the Q? Let me just check the U situation. 1 unplayed, so there's 3 on the board. Okay, none of those are in a helpful position. I don't have an I. I could play Chi onto the Eye of Curies. I could play it. Wow, 60 points for my opponent. Massive score for her. She's just 10 points behind. Nowhere for keyage to play. So, where else can I jettison the Q? It would be nice to play off the A as well. So a play of QAT would do that. But no T's available. Should I change? Tricky. I'm looking around. In case I've missed a keyage spot, I don't think I have. So what if I don't play my Q? What can I score with my other tiles? 11 minutes on my clock. Now my A can go after pup. So I could play ag, AG. But I think I'd like to play off the Y as well if I'm going to retain the Q. This is a really tricky rack. 11 minutes left. I am really reluctant to change. But maybe I should. But there's a lot of vowels out there. If I changed, I wouldn't be hanging on to any of G, Q and Y. I'd probably keep E, A blank. The E is the only useful floater, and I could easily just have a bunch of vowels on my rack. So I think I should carry on playing. Now, is there somewhere I can play gay or yag? I could play Aga down here, burning my blank. 35 points, I don't think that is best. I can't use row I. Gosh, I'm in a really tricky spot with this rack. I don't want to block this QI spot. I may need it. But I'm struggling to see anywhere to play gay or yag. So am I missing something? Well, I could just play yay across here. 19 points. I don't like that. I'm thinking about changing. Let's see if I can dodge the vowels. Yes, I do. Or enough of them. So I have tedium and idiatum. This isn't really a board for 7-letter plays. Now I have Mayeutic, M-A-I-E-U-T-I-C, which plays in row A. Great, stays available. Horrible word this, very easy to misspell it. Mayeutic, I think that's it. Let me have another look. Mayeutic, yeah, I think that works. 86 points. And I think that's going to be the best, the highest scoring bingo lane. So I don't need to look for a better bingo. Great, that is a fabulous pickup. I draw the second blank and I have a bingo-y rack. And it looks like it goes quite well with the E of phase. I've got a 60-point lead. Only 5 tiles in the bag. My opponent could well have the Q or be about to pick it up. However, there is now a spot for the Q. Well, 2 spots, the Eye of Curies and the Eye of Egypt, so my opponent's not going to be stuck with it. I have Tabanid on my rack. Does that play? I'm looking in row B. I don't think it does. Column 4 not particularly helpful because an S would have to go after Mo. So I may not have a bingo here. I think I should go through the alphabet for 7s since row B is a 7-letter bingo lane. That's Tabanid. And I'm trying to keep the E in mind of phase as well. Antacid. Gosh, that looks promising. Can't see anything. Now that would be indagate through the E, but the E is in the wrong spot. Diamante, but again the E in the wrong spot. Antidora through an A. Pintada. Ah, that doesn't play. Ah, well, what about patterned? Again, the E, not in the right spot. How annoying. Radiant. Ah, radiant. Great, that plays in row B. Fantastic. Now, do I have anything through this E in case that's blocked? And Intrada is the anagram of radiant, but that doesn't play. That looks hopeful, but I can't see anything. Attained. Doesn't quite work. Seven minutes on my opponent's clock. So, at the moment I have Radiant, but that's all I have. I haven't seen anything through this E. And I'm sure there must be something. Radiant would score more. My concern is if Radiant is blocked. Now, what about a play ending AD or ending N? So I've got the Asian ending. Ah, do I have add nation? AD nation. I think I do. So it may not be good, but I think it is. I'll certainly try that if I can see nothing else and my Radiant play is blocked. What about plays beginning pup, T or gin? Can't see anything with pup, T or gin. Now what about a play ending AD? Unlikely with AD on my rack. So I'm really back to this E. But I haven't seen anything through that. My opponent's now got 6 minutes on her clock. 5 tiles in the bag. The remaining tiles do not look good. So whatever her rack is, I think she's going to be struggling to find a decent play. And at this point, with 5 in the bag, she can see that she is still within reach of me. She doesn't know I have the blank. From her perspective, it could still be in the bag. So she may well be planning to balance her rack to maximise her chances of bingoing. There certainly are bingo lanes on this board. I'm still considering this E. Maybe I should go through the alphabet again and not look for 7s, just have the E in mind, and I'll stop when my opponent plays. Okay, now that looks like intifada through an I, but in any event, Radiant remains available and my opponent's provided nothing new. So Radiant 73. I have LY, my opponent has got the Q. She can play it off for 22 points, that's not many. I can go out with lay in column 5 or lay through the E, so I'm definitely going out. It's a matter of maximising my score. My opponent will not be going out. So where can I play LY? Ah, nice spot by my opponent. I hadn't noticed that. So 7 minutes on my clock. I've got LY. The game is won. I can get 6 points by playing LAY, lay in column 5. I'm just going to go down the board and see if I can see a better spot. There may well be, but I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen anything better than lay. Which is surprising. It's quite a flexible, or has some flexibility. Oh well, we'll still find out in a minute. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which she does. And the final score, 397 to my opponent, 484 to me. A winning margin of 87 points. So, a good win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go fast. And this is what she changed with. So, just going back, she changed 3, probably kept AI RS, which is what I would do. Now this was my rack. Kufi was good. Well, that was certainly better than Curry. Firkin also available for 34, so Curry not not an optimal play. My opponent's rack. Does she have a bingo? Nope. Plays Surat. Now I then have Faith and Surat, which looks best. Now my opponent does have a bingo with Sangrias, and that's the only one. Now, wow, look at that. Bandius, the only bingo with this rack. I was pleased when this rack came up. I thought I would have options. I didn't. I was indeed fortunate that my opponent provided the right floater. My opponent's rack plays Coned. Now I am super lucky and pick up Oilways. Yeah, I'm super lucky to have Oilways, but not super clever because I played it at M4 for 87. I could have got 4 more points by playing it 1 square to the left. Now, my opponent's rack, she plays Phase. I have a horrible rack, but a great spot to play off the tiles which I need to play off and score well. My opponent's rack, she plays Forex. Ooh, where is that? B10. Look at that. Grovelling and making new. I should have spotted that an N could go between the I and the G, making new. I didn't. So that's one that got away. I played Glove for 32. A significantly inferior move. My opponent plays Duty. And this was my rack. L1 Veep. Keeping wrong. Instead I played Opener for the same score, keeping G. Probably not very much between those plays, but there might be. However, with 2 blanks to come, I certainly prefer playing off more tiles. My opponent plays Comp. I have Keyage, nowhere for it. K15. So I changed here and I could have got 71 points for Acqui. Well, I think 71 points was the better play. My opponent plays Egypt. I draw well. I have my Utic. A number of other options which I didn't spot. Now, does my opponent have a bingo? No. She plays Bog. And I have Radiance. What I didn't see was Aidance, which also played, but that was it. There was nothing else. I'm surprised. I thought there probably would have been something through the E. My opponent plays off the Q. And finally, A5 lay for 6 was the highest scoring outplay. So quite an exciting game. Quite a few bingos going down and some tricky racks to consider and some misses to learn from. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.